a WikiVidi documentaries production. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Enjoy. Sylvester Stallone. Michael Sylvester Gardenzio Stallone is an American actor, film director, screenwriter, producer, and playwright. He is well known for his Hollywood action roles, including boxer Rocky Balboa in the Rocky series, soldier John Rambo in the 4 Rambo films, and Barney Ross in the 3 The Expendables films. Stallone wrote most of the 14 films in all 3 franchises, and directed many of the films. Stallone's film Rocky was inducted into the National Film Registry, and had its props placed in the Smithsonian Museum. His use of the front entrance to the Philadelphia Museum of Art in the Rocky series led the area to be nicknamed the Rocky Steps, and Philadelphia has a statue of his Rocky character placed permanently near the museum. It was announced on December 7, 2010 that Stallone was voted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame in the non-participant category. In 1977, Stallone was nominated for 2 Academy Awards for Rocky, Best Original Screenplay and Best Actor. He became the 3rd man in history to receive these 2 nominations for the same film, after Charlie Chaplin and Orson Welles. Stallone received positive reviews, as well as his first Golden Globe Award win and a 3rd Academy Award nomination, for reprising the role of Rocky Balboa in Ryan Coogler's 2015 film Creed. Early life. Stallone was born in the Hell's Kitchen neighborhood of Manhattan, New York City, the elder son of Frank Stallone Sr., a hairdresser and beautician, and Jacqueline, Jackie, Stallone, an astrologer, former dancer, and promoter of women's wrestling. Stallone's father was born in Gioia del Colle, Apulia, Italy, and immigrated to the United States in the 1930s. Stallone's mother is of half French and half Ukrainian Jewish descent. His younger brother is actor and musician Frank Stallone. Complications his mother suffered during labor forced her obstetricians to use 2 pairs of forceps during his birth. Misuse of these accidentally severed a nerve and caused paralysis in parts of Stallone's face. As a result, the lower left side of his face is paralyzed, including parts of his lip, tongue, and chin, an accident which has given Stallone his snarling look and slightly slurred speech. Stallone was baptized Catholic. His father moved the family to Washington, D.C. in the early 1950s, where he opened a beauty school. His mother opened a women's gymnasium called Barbalet's in 1954. He attended Notre Dame Academy and Lincoln High School in Philadelphia, and Charlotte Hall Military Academy, prior to attending Miami-Dade College and the University of Miami. 1969-1971, The Party at Kitty and Studs and Score. While Stallone was in Switzerland, he played a restaurant patron in a scene with Robert Redford and Camilla Sparv in the sports drama Downhill Racer. Stallone had his first starring role in the softcore pornography feature film The Party at Kitty and Studs. He was paid for 2 days' work. Stallone later explained that he had done the film out of desperation after being evicted from his apartment and finding himself homeless for several days. He has also said that he slept 3 weeks in the Port Authority bus terminal in New York City prior to seeing a casting notice for the film. In the actor's words, "It was either do that movie or rob someone, because I was at the very end of my rope." The film was released several years later as Italian Stallion, in order to cash in on Stallone's newfound fame. Stallone also starred in the erotic off-Broadway stage play Score, which ran for 23 performances at the Martinique Theatre from October 28 to November 15, 1971, and was later made into the 1974 film Score by Radley Metzger. 1970-1975, early film roles. In 1972, Stallone appeared in the film No Place to Hide, which was recut and retitled Rebel, the second version featuring Stallone as its star, after the style of Woody Allen's What's Up, Tiger Lily. This film, in 1990, was re-edited from outtakes from the original movie and newly shot matching footage, then redubbed into an award-winning parody of itself titled A Man Called Rainbow. Stallone's other first few film roles were minor. and included brief uncredited appearances in Pigeons as a party guest, Woody Allen's Bananas as a subway thug, in the psychological thriller Clute as an extra dancing in a club, and in the Jack Lemmon film The Prisoner of Second Avenue as a youth. In the Lemmon film, Jack Lemmon's character chases, tackles and mugs Stallone, thinking that Stallone's character is a pickpocket. According to actor Elliot Gould, Stallone confessed to being in MASH as an extra. He had his second starring role in The Lords of Flatbush, in 1974. In 1975, he played supporting roles in Farewell, My Lovely, Capone, and Death Race 2000. He made guest appearances on the TV series Police Story and Kojak. 1976, success with Rocky. Stallone gained worldwide fame with his starring role in the smash hit Rocky. On March 24, 1975, Stallone saw the Muhammad Ali Chuck Wepner fight. That night Stallone went home, and after 3 days and 20 straight hours, he had written the script. But Stallone subsequently denied that Wepner provided any inspiration for it. Other possible inspirations for the film may have included Rocky Graziano's autobiography Somebody Up There Likes Me, and the movie of the same name. Wepner filed a lawsuit which was eventually settled with Stallone for an undisclosed amount. Stallone attempted to sell the script to multiple studios, with the intention of playing the lead role himself. Irwin Winkler and Robert Chartoff became interested and offered Stallone for the rights, but had their own casting ideas for the lead role, including Robert Redford and Burt Reynolds. Stallone refused to sell unless he played the lead character, and eventually, after a substantial budget cut to compromise, it was agreed he could be the star. Rocky was nominated for 10 Academy Awards, including Best Actor and Best Original Screenplay nominations for Stallone. The film went on to win the Academy Awards for Best Picture, Best Directing, and Best Film Editing. 1978-2005, more Rocky, Rambo, and additional roles. Following the success of Rocky, Stallone made his directorial debut and starred in the 1978 film Paradise Alley, a family drama in which he played one of 3 brothers who enter the world of wrestling. That same year he starred in Norman Jewison's Fist, a social drama in which he plays a warehouse worker, very loosely modeled on James Hoffa, who becomes involved in the labor union leadership. In 1979 he wrote, directed, and starred in the sequel to his 1976 hit, Rocky II, which also became a major success, grossing $1 million. In 1981 he starred alongside Michael Caine in Escape to Victory, a sports drama in which he plays a prisoner of war involved in a Nazi propaganda soccer game. That same year he starred in the thriller Nighthawks, in which he plays a New York City cop who plays a cat and mouse game with a foreign terrorist, played by Rutger Hauer. Stallone launched another major franchise success, starring as Vietnam veteran John Rambo, a former Green Beret, in the action war film First Blood. The first installment of Rambo was both a critical and box office success. Critics praised Stallone's performance, saying he made Rambo seem human, as opposed to the way he is portrayed in the book of the same name. 3 Rambo sequels, Rambo, First Blood Part 2, Rambo 3 and Rambo, followed. He also continued his box office success with the Rocky franchise and wrote, directed, and starred in 2 more 1980s sequels to the series, Rocky III and Rocky IV. Stallone has portrayed these 2 characters in a total of 11 films. In preparation for these roles, Stallone embarked upon a vigorous training regimen, which often meant 6 days a week in the gym and further sit-ups in the evenings. Stallone claims to have reduced his body fat percentage to his all-time low of 2.8% for Rocky III. Stallone met former Mr. Olympia Franco Columbu to develop his character's appearance for the films Rocky IV and Rambo II, just as if he were preparing for the Mr. Olympia competition. That meant 2 workouts a day, 6 days a week. During this time period, Stallone cultivated a strong overseas following. He also attempted, albeit unsuccessfully, roles in different genres. In 1984 he co-wrote and starred alongside Dolly Parton in the comedy film Rhinestone, where he played a wannabe country music singer. For the Rhinestone soundtrack, he performed a song. Stallone turned down the lead male role in Romancing the Stone in order to make Rhinestone instead, a decision he later regretted. In 1987, He starred in the family drama Over the Top as a struggling trucker who tries to make amends with his estranged son. These films did not do well at the box office and were poorly received by critics. It was around 1985 that Stallone was signed to a remake of the 1939 James Cagney classic Angels with Dirty Faces. The film would form part of his multi-picture deal with Cannon Films and was to co-star Christopher Reeve and be directed by Menahem Golan. The remaking of such a beloved classic was met with disapproval by Variety and horror by top critic Roger Ebert. Cannon opted to make Cobra instead. Cobra and the buddy cop action film Tango and Cash, the latter alongside Kurt Russell, did solid business domestically and blockbuster business overseas, grossing over $1 million in foreign markets and over $1 million worldwide. Stallone's 1990s began with starring in the fifth installment of the Rocky franchise, Rocky V. This film brought back the original film's director John G. Avildsen. It was considered a box office disappointment. He attempted the comedy genre, starring in 2 comedies during the early 1990s, the critical and commercial disasters Oscar and Stop, or My Mom Will Shoot. In 1993, he made a comeback with the hit Cliffhanger, which was a success in the US, grossing $1 million, but even more successful worldwide, grossing $1 million. Later that year, he starred with Wesley Snipes in the futuristic action film Demolition Man, which grossed over $1 million worldwide. His string of hits continued with 1994's The Specialist. In 1995, he played the futuristic character Judge Dredd in the eponymous film Judge Dredd. His overseas box office appeal saved the domestic box office disappointment of Judge Dredd, which cost almost $1 million and barely made its budget back, with a worldwide tally of $1 million. He also appeared in the thriller Assassins with Julianne Moore and Antonio Banderas. In 1996, he starred in the disaster film Daylight. That same year, Stallone, along with an all-star cast of celebrities, appeared in the Trey Parker and Matt Stone short comedy film Your Studio and You, commissioned by the Seagram Company for a party celebrating their acquisition of Universal Studios and the MCA Corporation. Stallone speaks in his Rocky Balboa voice with subtitles translating what he is saying. At one point, Stallone starts yelling about how can they use his Balboa character, that he left it in the past. The narrator calms him with a wine cooler and calling him Brainiac. In response, Stallone says, "Thank you very much." He then looks at the wine cooler and exclaims, "Stupid cheap studio." Following his breakthrough performance in Rocky, critic Roger Ebert had stated that Stallone could become the next Marlon Brando. Though he barely recaptured the critical acclaim achieved with Rocky, Stallone did go on to receive acclaim for his role in the crime drama Copland, in which he starred alongside Robert De Niro and Ray Liotta. His performance led him to win the Stockholm International Film Festival Best Actor award. In 1998, he did voiceover work for the computer-animated film Ants, which was a big hit domestically. In 2000, Stallone starred in the thriller Get Carter, a remake of the 1971 British Michael Caine film of the same name, but the film was poorly received by both critics and audiences. Stallone's career declined considerably after his subsequent films Driven, Avenging Angelo and Detox also underachieved expectations to do well at the box office and were poorly received by critics. In 2003, he played a villainous role in the third installment of the Spy Kids trilogy Spy Kids 3D, Game Over, which was a huge box office success. Stallone also had a cameo appearance in the 2003 French film Taxi 3 as a passenger. Following several poorly reviewed box office flops, Stallone started to regain prominence for his supporting role in the neo-noir crime drama Shade, which was only released in a limited fashion, but was praised by critics. He was also attached to star and direct a film tentatively titled Rampart Scandal, which was to be about the murder of rappers Tupac Shakur and the Notorious B.I.G., and the surrounding Los Angeles Police Department corruption scandal. It was later titled Notorious, but was shelved. In 2005, he was the co-presenter, alongside Sugar Ray Leonard, of the NBC reality television boxing series The Contender. That same year he also made a guest appearance in 2 episodes of the television series Las Vegas. In 2005, Stallone also inducted wrestling icon Hulk Hogan, who appeared in Rocky III as a wrestler named Thunderlips, into the WWE Hall of Fame. Stallone was also the person who offered Hogan the cameo in Rocky III. 2006, 2008, revisiting Rocky and Rambo. After a 3-year hiatus from films, Stallone had a comeback in 2006 with the 6th installment of his successful Rocky series, Rocky Balboa, which was a critical and commercial hit. After the critical and box office failure of the previous installment Rocky V, Stallone had decided to write, direct and star in a 6th installment which would be a more appropriate climax to the series. The total domestic box office came to $3 million. The budget of the movie was only $1 million. His performance in Rocky Balboa has been praised and garnered mostly positive reviews. Stallone's 4th installment of his other successful movie franchise is titled simply Rambo. The film opened in 2,751 theaters on January 25, 2008, grossing on its opening day and over its opening weekend. Its box office was worldwide with a budget of $1 million. Asked in February 2008 which of the icons he would rather be remembered for, Stallone said, "It's a tough one, but Rocky is my first baby, so Rocky." 2010 present, The Expendables and Creed. In 2010, Stallone wrote, directed and starred in the ensemble action film The Expendables. The movie, which was filmed during summer/winter 2009, was released on August 13, 2010. Joining him in the film were fellow action stars Jason Statham, Jet Li, and Dolph Lundgren, as well as Terry Crews, Mickey Rourke, Randy Couture, Eric Roberts, and Stone Cold Steve Austin. And cameos by fellow 80s action icons Bruce Willis and Arnold Schwarzenegger. The movie took in its opening weekend, going straight in at number 1 in the US box office. The figure marked the biggest opening weekend in Stallone's career. In summer 2010, Brazilian company O2 Filmes released a statement saying it was still owed more than $1 million for its work on the film. A sequel, The Expendables 2, was released August 17, 2012, to a positive critical reception of 67% on Rotten Tomatoes, as opposed to the original's 41%, as well as returning cast members from the first film. The ensemble cast also included Jean-Claude Van Damme and Chuck Norris. In 2012, Stallone co-wrote the book for the stage musical adaptation of Rocky. In 2013, Stallone starred in the action film Bullet to the Head, directed by Walter Hill, based upon Alexis Nolan's French graphic novel Du Plan dans la Tête. Also in 2013, he starred in the action thriller Escape Plan, along with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jim Caviezel, and in the sports comedy Grudge Match alongside Robert De Niro. Stallone expressed interest in making a remake of the Spanish film No Rest for the Wicked and to star in a 5th Rambo film, but both projects are now shelved. The Expendables 3, the 3rd installment in the ensemble action film series, was released on August 15, 2014. The returning ensemble cast also added Wesley Snipes, Antonio Banderas, Mel Gibson, and Harrison Ford. In 2015, Stallone reprised his role as Rocky Balboa in a spin-off sequel film, Creed, which focused on Adonis Creed, the son of his deceased friend/rival, Apollo Creed, becoming a boxer. The film, directed by Ryan Coogler, received critical acclaim, portraying the iconic cinematic boxer for the 7th time in a span of 40 years. Stallone's portrayal of the character received widespread acclaim and accolades, including the Golden Globe Award for Best Supporting Actor, and his 3rd Academy Award nomination, this time for Best Supporting Actor. In 2017, Stallone appeared in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, in which he portrayed Starhawk. On July 21, 2017, Stallone confirmed that he had completed a script for a sequel to Creed, featuring the return of Ivan Drago from Rocky IV in 2018. He starred in Escape Plan 2, appearing alongside Dave Bautista, which was released straight to DVD and Blu-ray. He is also working on Escape Plan 3, which would mark the 4th character he has portrayed in multiple films, after Rocky Balboa, John Rambo, and Barney Ross. Creed 2 went into production in March 2018, with an aim for a release on Thanksgiving 2018. Stallone was originally slated to direct before the appointment of Stephen Caple Jr. in May 2018. It was announced that Rambo V was scheduled to begin filming in September. The plot centers on Rambo taking on a Mexican drug cartel. Deadline Hollywood reported that Stallone is co-writing the script, but he is unlikely to direct. On May 8, Stallone confirmed on his Instagram account that the film is scheduled for a fall 2019 release. Brought to you by WikiVidi Documentaries. Would you like to know more?